Scholars, I hope that you enjoyed those pictures from last week. They were a lot of fun. You guys are awesome. You know, I woke up this morning and I realized it was Groundhog's Day. And I think about Groundhog's Day and what a holiday, what a great day. You have these groundhogs, and these groundhogs have to get out of their beds. They have to get out and go out into the world. But many of them apparently are scared. And when they come out, if they see their shadow, they go back in to their home. And you gotta imagine, these groundhogs, if they're scared from a shadow, what else could they be scared of? Are you scared of stuff? You think about it, though, these groundhogs, they're not made to stay in their bed all the time in their home. No, they're made to go do stuff. They're made to go play in the woods and collect food and do all the things groundhogs do. And if they allow their fear to prevent them from doing that, they're not going to have a very productive life. They're not going to have a fun life. Well, I went out and I wanted to talk to one of these groundhogs. So I went out and found Groundhog Eli. And I talked to him, and I want you guys to watch it. Here I am at Groundhog Eli's home. Eli, are you there?
Ah!
Where did you go? Why did you leave?
I saw a shadow and I got scared. I am going back to bed forever.
But if you do that, you won't ever get to see the awesome things God has in store for you. Plus, if you don't ever come out, who's going to tell me all about the weather?
You're right. Here I come. Whee! I am so excited. I'm going to play in the snow and make snowballs and even go sledding. I'm so glad that you helped me to be brave.
That's awesome, Groundhog Eli. You have fun with that, and say hi to all the Tuesday schoolers.
Hi!
Thank you, Groundhog Eli. You are awesome. Well, today we are going to learn one of my favorite stories in the Bible. I love this story because of something Mordecai says to Esther. He tells her, "You are made for such a time and a place as this." Now, did you know that God made you for a special place and time? That's right. God made you for the life that you have. And you are going to do some amazing things. In fact, many of you are doing some amazing things right now. This last Sunday, Jessa went and actually helped us lead worship at our church. How cool is that? And she did a fantastic job. Over the fall, one of our students, Briley, had a younger sister. And she now gets the opportunity to lead and teach that younger sister all the cool things that she's learned. During Christmas time, I saw that Sadie and Christopher both helped their churches with their church plays. That is awesome. Doing those things is a lot of fun, but it can also be scary, just like with our groundhog. It can be scary to do things. But we are supposed to go and do them because God has made us with the purpose to get those things done. And today, as we learn about Esther, we're going to learn about how God overcame the fears in Esther's life because God needed Esther to do something very important. He needed her to save all his people. So we're going to learn about that real soon. But before we do that, let's have Sophie lead us on to crafts. Hey Tuesday schoolers, I'm here with Gwen again. She is going to help us with today's craft. And as you remember, today's story is on Esther. And Esther is a queen, and Mordecai tells her, who knows if you've not been put at this place and time for this exact reason. So today we're going to make these crowns since she's a queen, and you'll notice that verse is actually written on the crown. So go into your bags, and you will find this crown.
And this bag.
And this bag. And it will say, for Esther's crown, and it'll have the date. So you'll open those things up, and you'll actually put those on the little circles on the crown. So let's watch as Gwenny does that. There you go. So one thing you can do is, as you see on this crown, There's all the yellow you put on the gold, and then the purple you put on the purple, and it makes it look really pretty. So Gwenny's going to go ahead and do that. And as you see on the back of these, they peel off so that they stick. And you can just place them where you want to. And when you're done, your parents will go and fit this or size this to your head, and then you'll have your own crown for the lesson today. So hopefully you guys do that. Make sure to send us your pictures of you wearing your crowns. We are excited to see them.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
On roller skates.
On roller skates.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
On roller skates. So you can't get to heaven on roller skates. You roll right past those pearly gates. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
In a limousine.
In a limousine.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
In a limousine. Oh, you can't get to heaven in a limousine. God don't got no gasoline. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
In a rocking chair.
In a rocking chair.
Oh, you can't get to
Oh, you
heaven.
can't get to heaven.
In a rocking chair. You can't get to heaven in a rocking chair. God don't want no lazy bones there. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
In a tissue box.
In a tissue box.
Oh, you can't get to
Oh,
heaven.
you can't get to heaven.
In a tissue box. So you can't get to heaven in a tissue box. God don't want no dirty socks. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Oh, you can't get to heaven.
In an orange canoe.
In an orange canoe.
Oh, you can't get to
Oh,
heaven.
you can't get to heaven.
In an orange canoe. Oh, you can't get to heaven in an orange canoe. God's favorite color is wildcat blue. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. I've been redeemed
I've been redeemed
by the blood of the Lamb.
by the blood of the Lamb.
I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Filled with the Holy Spirit I am. All my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed.
Did you know that the Bible says Jesus is our shepherd? That means that we would be his sheep. And I just want to be a sheep. I just want to be a sheep. Bah, 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 bah. I just want to be a sheep. Bah, 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 bah. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep. Let me hear your bahs. Bah, 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 bah. I don't want to be a goat. Nope. I don't want to be a goat. Nope. 'Cause a goat ain't got no hope. I just want to be a sheep. Bah, 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 bah. I just want to be a sheep. Bah, 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 bah. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep. Bah, 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 bah. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite. 'cause a hypocrite ain't hip with it. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna be a Pharisee. I don't wanna be a Pharisee, 'cause they're not fair, you see. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna be sad, you see. I don't wanna be a Sadducee, 'cause they are sad, you see. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba.
I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army. I'm in the Lord's army. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir!
He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got itty bitty babies in his hands. He's got itty bitty babies in his hands. He's got the itty bitty babies in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the mommies and daddies in his hands. He's got the mommies and daddies in his hands. He's got the mommies and daddies in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
The Bible tells us about a king of Persia named Ahasuerus, who was throwing a big party, and during the party he called for his wife to come down and join him. His wife did not want to go to the party, so she told him no. When King Ahasuerus heard, he became very angry. At this time, you weren't allowed to say no to the king. And King Ahasuerus was so upset that he got rid of his queen. After some time had passed, King Ahasuerus started to get lonely and miss his wife. And so his advisors saw that he was being affected by this, and they came to him and said, you need to get a new wife. And what we should do is we should collect all the most beautiful women across the land. We'll bring them before you, and you decide which one's the most beautiful, and you marry her, and that will be the new queen. And so they do this. And they go throughout the land, and they pick up all the beautiful women. One woman they picked up was a follower of God, and she was named Esther. She was living with her uncle Mordecai. And when they took her to the king, he saw her and he declared she was the most beautiful, and he married her and made her the new queen. Now Esther was scared because at the time many people did not like the people who followed and loved God. And so what she did, she decided, I'm not going to tell anyone because I know people around this king do not like us and they don't want us to be around. And so she hid the fact that she loved God and followed him. While she was the queen, one of the king's friends, Haman, decided to trick the king and tell the king that he needs to get all of the people who love God and follow God, and he needs to arrest them. And he needs to have them killed, and he needs to get rid of all these people that follow God. Haman doesn't sound like a very good person, does he? It's because he isn't. He's not a good person. But Haman goes and he does this, and the king agrees. And when Mordecai and Esther hear this, they're heartbroken. And Mordecai goes to Esther and he says to Esther, Esther, you have to help us. The king might change his mind if he knows you follow God and you love God. And Esther told him she was afraid. She was afraid because if she disagreed with the king, he could have her be like the queen before that. And she was afraid to let the king know that she loved God and followed God. But Mordecai told her, Esther, you were put in this place for this reason, to save God's people. And so Esther decided she was going to call a meeting with the king. And she went in and she talked to him. But she got scared to tell him that she was a follower of God. And so instead what she did was she asked the king if she can go and have a dinner, a feast with him and Haman. And she thought, I'll tell them at this dinner. And the dinner comes, and Esther gets afraid and doesn't tell the king. And afterwards she knows she made a mistake, and she knows she should have told him. So she goes to the king again and she says, could we have another dinner? And they do. And while they're at this dinner, Esther tells the king that she loves God and follows him. And the king realized that this meant that he was going to have her jailed as well. And this made him very angry. And he got up and he ran out of the room. Haman also became scared because he realized that he could be in trouble for causing the king to have to jail his wife. And so he goes to beg Esther for help, but trips on the way to see her. And when he falls on her, and the king sees this and thinks that Haman had attacked Queen Esther. And he has Haman arrested. Esther then goes to the king again and says, do you not realize that I am a follower of God? So we want to be big and brave and courageous, don't we? Awesome. Well, Tuesday schools, that's all the time we have for today. But hopefully you guys had fun, and hopefully you guys are going to be big, brave, and courageous. Don't forget to have your moms and dads take pictures of the crafts and the coloring pages you do, and send those to me, as well as the stories of you being brave. I want to hear them. I want to see the pictures of you being brave. And we'll see you next week.